Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. Some of you may still be celebrating, so I have to say happy belated Valentine's to you for celebrating. Still, some people celebrate 365 days of the year. I don't know, but whatever you do, notwithstanding it's past, still happy belated Valentine's. You're listening to another edition of On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. Today is what? Tuesday the 17th. I am not going to say a thing about how fast February is going. We had about 4 weeks in January, and this is about 6 weeks, about 7 weeks of the year gone. I ain't going to say a thing about that. Poof! All I'm going to say is poof. We have a lot to talk about, and I should be joined by a co-host for the night. My guests for this evening, they eventually couldn't make it for various reasons. So we have had someone who actually will be co-hosting in the studio. I'll put it this way, I guess for 2 hours, so to speak. And he should be here anytime momentarily. And we're getting cracking. We have so much things, according to Bob Marley, we have so much things to say right now. We have football, we have basketball, we have cricket, ICC, T20, Cricket World Cup. They say when the big ones fall, they fall heavy and hard and heavy. And one of the big ones has fallen. Zimbabwe sent home Australia from the Cricket World Cup. All kind of things happening there. With that, boy, I don't know, boy. I really don't know what's happening and who is going where. But I think it might very well be a very positive and real chance for the Windies to win this World Cup. But I guess when he gets here, we are going to get in more a bit about that. But if you look quickly at the tables, forgive me, before I go there, I got a little excited. I have to say good night, good evening to some persons who are watching. Good evening, good afternoon, good night, good morning to you, wherever you are in your part of the world, because as I normally say, right now, today is yesterday in some countries, and today is tomorrow in some other countries. So, and those people who may be watching us from outer space, I don't know. There's always talk that people out there, they may be tuned in. I don't know, just in case, good evening, good morning, whatever it is to you. And we have Annie Ann over in Taba. Annie Ann, she's always locked in. We have Larnett Somerset in Green Valley, Keon. We have Anna Hull in Green Valley, Keon also. We have, who else do we have? Evie Morris Phipps. That's how you got Phipps Morris. Evie, the blind lady who is living up at Manchester Avenue, up the road by Bractor Shop off to the left. Good evening, how are you? Why, Evie got a laugh out of this while you hear. If you hear Evie cackle, I believe people just stay a mile and a half along by the fire station and hear Evie laugh. But anyway, we say good night to her. We say good night to Montclair. What's him up there in Canada? I always can't remember his name. I remember him as Tito. Played some volleyball, Montclair Samuel. Not Monty Samuel, the late Monty Samuel. Montclair Samuel. Tito, out of inner city out of inner city Molyneux. He's up there in Canada. I think it's Ontario. Good evening to him. He's normally locked. We have John Palmer, Montezuma, over there in Mansion. He is also locked as well. And there are a few other persons who are locked in. You could WhatsApp me. Talking about WhatsApp. My 668 is down. My floor number is down for WhatsApp at the moment. So you'll have to WhatsApp me on 765-1100. 765-1100, that's my WhatsApp number. So you can WhatsApp me there. And you can call on either number, 765-1100 or 668-2055. But WhatsApp only, 765-1100. And of course, you can call WINN FM at 466, my apologies for that, 466-0989. You can call live and direct 466-0989. That's the direct line. Or you can access, actually, if we're overseas, I'll just pull up those numbers and tell you what they are in a minute or two, just in case you want to be part of the program, just in case you want to share your views. And did I mention track and field? Yes, we have track and field stories to buy all kind of things going on, in the world. We have East Zone, we have West Zone, and the director of sports, he was to be here earlier in the year, but he's going to be here at some point before the year finish, I think, and sharing us the thinking. And one of the questions I'm eager to ask him is, how is it that the East Zone and West Zone, the sports, the various, zonal sports, how come they have been happening even before schools had their regular sports day? I am always wondering about that. I was thinking that it may have been better to have that down at after all the sports they right now having. SEMS had their sports day on Sunday gone. And I was thinking that perhaps it is actually better to have these things later on. And then they had Champs of Champs as well. So I am thinking the process should be, in my humble view, individual sports day. Sandy Point Primary, Dean Glassford, Tucker Clark, all of them have the individual sports day. And after that, you have the zonals, because the schools could now pick their teams from that current sports that they had, and they have the zonals. And then after the zonals, you have the primary school Rams Primary Championship. To me, that's a natural progress, and it will lend itself, I believe, to a much better Rams Primary product. But that is just my humble view. So he'll probably explain to us why that is the case, why that is happening. So, and just in case, those numbers for you to call, if you're in the UK, you call 033-344-006-5, 033-344-006-5 if you are in the UK. In the USA, you'll call 718-285-6984, 718-285-6984. And of course, in Canada, 305-921-4615. Canada, 305-921-4619 to get in the show. Or you can call me, send a WhatsApp message, 765-1100. And I remind you that this program is carried live on WINN FM Facebook and also WINN FM YouTube. So you can tune in there and follow us live on the program and give us a shout. Let us know what you think about any of the topics. So where should we start? Let us start at the schools championships, because some of them, that is the zonals, some of them have been going on and really going on bad. Did I say we have football to talk about? Boy, you got a creep up kid happening there, you hear? We're going to talk about that. Way up early in the year, one of the zonals was held. And which one that was? That was, let me pull it up here. We have to go according to one of the songs way back. And I'm missing that. Oh, no, I'm not missing that. I ain't reached there yet. But that is way back here. But we've had the East Zone. We've had East Zone 1 and 2, as a matter of fact. We had West Zone. And we had the Bastia Zone. And then we had the Champs of Champs. And before I get into this, forgive my bad manners as well. I didn't wish the birthday people happy birthday. I talk about Valentine's. I didn't wish persons who celebrating their birthdays today happy birthday. So happy birthday to all of you. And if you're celebrating an anniversary, happy anniversary as well. Or if you got a promotion, you received a new hairstyle and your fingertips, what you call them, fingernails, you painted and you polished them. We say congratulations to you, and hope you have been enjoying it. If you got a promotion on the job, a new boyfriend or girlfriend, happy birthday, congratulations to you, pardon me, and I hope you're enjoying it. And we are going to look at the Department of Sports, and they had some sponsors. But before we get there, let us continue wishing those persons who celebrated between last week, Wednesday and yesterday, happy belated birthdays. Those who celebrated anniversaries in the same period, happy belated. And I'm still expecting my guest to be here anytime shortly. And it sounds like he's with us. I'll just give him a chance to settle in. And what we have happening, looking at these various sports day, it's been interesting. And to see the youngsters running up and down, I'll tell you what, let us start backwards. Let us start from the back and move to the first. And when I say start from the back, we're going to talk about the last one, the Champs of Champs. No, don't touch the Champs of Champs. Let the Champs of Champs be the last. We're going to start on the one before the Champs of Champs. And who do we have? I didn't touch those who are mourning. Those persons who are mourning, and I'm thinking about Ballage. He comes to mind. There's Waldo or Nevis. He worked at the sports department, and he was buried recently. The father of Wayne P. And there was also a young sportsman in Sandy Point, an athlete who got electrocuted. So condolences to their families, condolences to the communities, and it's really, really sad. And we don't know when time come. When time come, we just don't know when it's going to come. But we have to bear in mind, when these persons go through these experiences, we have to say condolences and share their thoughts. Well, right now, my guest is here. He is well settled in, I think, and I'm going to go live to him and let him introduce himself. Good evening, sir. How are you? Welcome to WINN FM 98.9.
Very blessed evening to you, Mr. Troy Bif Mills, and to all your listeners throughout the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and indeed beyond, because we do know that WINN FM is reaching far and wide via the internet. So a very blessed evening to you, sir. And as you mentioned, those who have departed this life, I was listening to the news and I have heard that the late Reverend Jesse Jackson has left us. And as you know, the late Reverend Jesse Jackson was one of those who struggled along with Dr. Martin Luther King, and he worked long and hard to see America have a first black president, and he was there to witness the inauguration of Barack Obama. So I would like us to have a 1 minute silence in remembrance of the late, great Dr. Jesse Jackson. He, to me, was one of the great Americans, one of the great African Americans of our time.
Unfortunately, that he's gone, but quite fitting, as this is Black History Month. And before we get into introduction, let us observe a moment of silence for the late Reverend Jesse Jackson. may his soul rest in peace. Unfortunately,
Most certainly.
because we are radio, we can't have dead here, not because we are paying our respects, but I think persons would understand.
Most definitely.
And welcome. Could you please introduce yourself? Tell us who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Rodney Baptiste. I am no stranger to WINN FM. I have been here several times in the past. I have been covering cricket as a radio commentator since 1998. It's something that I started here in St. Kitts 4 years after coming to St. Kitts in 1994. I have had a great passion for cricket commentaries ever since I was a youth, because I used to set up to listen to cricket with my mother. My mother was a great cricket fan. She was a lover of cricket. She encouraged me to play cricket. She bought clothes for me to play cricket. And my mother loved the West Indies team. So my mother and I would set up late in the night to listen to West Indies play Pakistan, West Indies play India, Australia, New Zealand, wherever the West Indies went. My mother and I were there listening to radio. And the voices of the late, I would call him Sir Tony Cozier. I am giving him Sir posthumously. And my great friend, the Guyanese-born St. Lucian-based Joseph Red Sparrow, a man who I've had the privilege of working with in St. Martin on at least 2 occasions. And I dare say that one of his encouragement to me was, Mr. Baptiste, never be late. Always be early. Always be there on time so that you can prepare and plan ahead of time. And I have listened to him well. We are always in touch. I have a question, I can WhatsApp him. And I have been covering cricket here in St. Kitts since 1998. I have covered cricket just about everywhere in the Caribbean, with the exception of places like Trinidad, Guyana. I have covered games in Barbados. I have never been to Jamaica to cover cricket. I have been to Jamaica in 1999, but not to cover cricket, to represent the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank as a member of our intra-regional Central Banks team that participates in the intra-regional games biennially every 2 years. So I came to St. Kitts in 1994 to work with the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. I spent nearly 20 and a half years there. I left in 2013, went into driving bus, and I have become one of the most famous bus drivers in St. Kitts, better known as Faithfulness. And I now have a bus named Cheerfulness. So I followed sports. I tried to spread the love around. I tried to spread the cheer around. It's very unfortunate that people, in many instances, they mistake my intentions. And my intentions are always good. I always love to help people. I have a ministry of help. And irrespective of the hour, irrespective of the time, the place, it just doesn't matter to me. Once you need help and I am available, I shall help you. That's how I live. In Grenada, we are not satisfied until we complete helping you. There is no such thing as too far. There is no such thing as too much. There is no such thing as too long in Grenada. What we say in Grenada is that when you come to Grenada, you are only one step away from paradise. There is no other place in the world like Grenada. And I can say like the Trinidadian Calypsonian, my Petite Martinique, Carriacou, and Grenada is the greatest island on earth.
Well, when you tell them about paradise, of course, you didn't remember St. Kitts.
Well, we do have a village in St. Andrews called Paradise. Yes, okay. We do. It's not too far from the town of Grenville, where my wife is from. My wife is a nurse. She has been a nurse here since 1998. She is now a nurse's trainer. So she's now training the trainees.
That's wonderful.
CFBC College.
That's wonderful.
I have followed just about every sport there is. The only sport I cannot really follow is American football and rugby. Outside of that, I follow every other sport because I personally have played just about every sport there is. I've played basketball, I've played football, I've played lawn tennis, table tennis. I represented the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank in table tennis and cricket. I captained the table tennis team. So once it's sport, I am there. I am also a gymnast.
Whoa.
Yeah, I used to marvel people on the beach with my back somersaults and my back flicks. And well, they even saw some of my karate skills at the ferry terminal when a fella messed with me. That went viral all over the world. People call me from all over the world about that video. So I've also studied martial arts.
Okay.
Once it's sport, I'm there. So I encourage people to get their children into sports. I believe, you should let your children channel their energies into sports. You cannot go wrong with sports. Scholarships are available.
At no time.
Scholarships are available. You have scholarships in cricket, football, basketball, netball, athletics. Well, Troy, my sister is even worse than me. My sister is worse than me. Because my sister is... Listen, let me explain. My sister is the games teacher. She is the physical education and games teacher at the St. Joseph Convent in St. George's.
Okay.
She is exclusively assigned to training all the girls at the St. Joseph's Convent in St. George's. She went to China the other day on a table tennis scholarship.
Whoa.
Table tennis training. Once it's sport, my sister is in it. Athletics, she plays it. Basketball, she plays. Netball, she represented Grenada in netball.
Whoa.
In Nevis, I visited her there on that trip.
Wow.
So, I mean, sport is in our blood.
So would you say you got the sporting talents from the father or the mother side of the family?
I believe it's my mother, because my mother, like I said, she loved the game of cricket. Cricket was her thing. She never missed a West Indies Test match. And that's the reason why I love Test cricket. I don't like Test cricket. I love Test cricket. There is no cricket I love like Test cricket.
Okay.
But I would pay money to go to watch a Test match anywhere in the world. Not a one-day international, not a T20. I love Test cricket. Test cricket is the best cricket there is, because it is, as far as I'm concerned, the purest form of cricket. And it is the form of cricket where it brings out the best out of a cricketer. Hence the reason why it is called Test cricket. It tests your character, it tests your patience, it tests your skills.
Mental
there is no cricket as nice as Test cricket.
Well, before
as sweet as Test cricket.
Before we get into that, we have a lot of things happening in St. Kitts, and permit me to indicate I have the information, but they're not accessible. The Bastille Zone, they had their public primary school competition, and when I say public primary school, they have the private events. They also have the public school. At the end of the day, 4 schools competed. Beach Allen, they have, some time ago they did very well, but they didn't do on this occasion. And a reminder, they're not, once ago as well, they used to determine the winners by points. You come first, you get 5, you come second, you get 3 points, etc. And you get some other points, 2 points or something for breaking a record. Now, everything is done by the Olympic style gold medal. And if you gold tie, you go to silver. If you silver tie, you go to bronze. If the bronze tie, I have to confirm that. But Beach Allen, there were 2 silvers, 2 gold, 4 silvers, 10 bronze, a total of 16. In 4th, Halliday Smith Primary, which was Irish Town, they had 15 medals, 2 golds, 5 silvers. So they are ahead of Beach Allen because they got 5 silvers, Beach Allen got 4. And 8 bronze. Dr. William Connor, actually, they have been dominating this, but not on this occasion. They have been beaten and beaten handsomely. They picked up a total of, just give me a sec here, that's 17 and 21, that's 38, 50 medals. 50 medals, 17 gold, 21 silvers, and 12 bronze medals. And there was second, Dr. William Connor, Tucker Clark Primary School. They had 51 medals in all, but it's not the number total of medals, it is the number of golds. There were 6 medals ahead of Dr. William Connor. They had 23 golds, 14 silvers, and 14 bronze. And at one point, William Connor dominated for quite a few years, and before them, Beach Allen. In terms of the West Zone, SP were the best B zone. 4 schools, Newton Ground Primary, they were 4th. They just picked up 10 medals, 3 gold, 2 silvers, and 5 bronze. Tyrrell Williams Primary, they had 37 medals, 10 golds, 16 silvers, 11 bronze. Bronte Welch Primary, they had 28 medals, 13 golds, 6 silvers, 9 bronze. And the Sandy Point Primary School, they won it by just 1 medal, 1 gold medal. They had a total of 45 medals overall, 14 golds, 16 silvers, and 15 bronze. So just 1 medal. And I'm missing the East Zone. East Zone had 2. They actually had 2 zonal competition, East Zone 1 and East Zone 2. And when you look at it, Keon section, there was one in the Keon side, and there was another on the St. Paul's side. If we're seeing East Zone, this would be East Zone 2, and that's the one on St. Paul's. So just give me a sec while I pull it up here. And the St. Paul's won that one. They went on bad St. Paul's. But Sadlers, they were 4th. They had just 18 medals. And unfortunately, they didn't win. That's Sadler's Primary. They didn't win any gold. 6 silvers, 12 bronze medals. Edgar T. Morris, I think that is Taba. They had 15 medals, 4 golds, 6 silvers, and 5 bronze. The April Primary School, and if I'm not mistaken, the April Primary School, they won the Primary School Rams Championship a few years back. They upset the whole apple cart. On this occasion, they had 31 medals, 11 golds, 7 silvers, and 13 bronze medals. St. Paul's blew away the competition, large and in charge. They had a total of 56 medals, but that's not where they blew them away. They had 25 gold medals, 4 medals ahead of Dieppe in second, 25 gold medals, 21 silvers, and 10 bronze medals. That is St. Paul's, and that was on East Zone 2. East Zone 1, we had 4 schools. Joshua Obadiah Williams, that is in Molyneux, if I'm not mistaken, they got 17 medals, 3 gold medals, 4 silvers, 10 bronze. Violet Petty, which is in Lodge, they had 22 medals, 6 golds, 9 bronze medals, 9 silvers, and 7 bronze. Dean Glassford Primary out of St. Peter's region, they had 44 medals, 12 gold medals, 14 silvers, 18 bronze. Keon, again, blowing with the pack. Keon had 59 medals. Sorry, that's 39 medals. Forgive me, boy, my math's getting the better of me. 59, yes, I was right, 59 medals, 23 gold medals, 17 silvers, and 19 bronze. When you look at it, the school with the most medals, I think that would be St. Paul's, 25 gold medals over all the 4 different championships. Now, that doesn't matter when it comes to the champs of champs. The champs of champs, you're up against, everybody's up against each other, and all the medals you won before, they don't really count. And I I'm going to get back and give you the medals for the champs of champs. And I am not, I'm not seeing that. And we'll get back to that later. But we should have it somewhere around here. And we're going to touch cricket. Cricket is the main thing we're focusing on. We're going to be touching a little bit about the ICC under 19 tournament that just happened. We had one Kitishan Kunal Kinakani making the team. And the bulk of it really is the ICC T20 Men's World Cup. West Indies marching on relentlessly, I should say. While Australia, they have been kicked out of the competition. Kicked out as in lose. They have lost out on it. Zimbabwe beat them, and that put them out. Sri Lanka also beat them. So those two losses really put them out. And that's a heavyweight going home, a real heavyweight. And if that's a good thing, a bad thing, I'm not certain. Baptist is going to share his view. But before we go to that, we cannot not talk about football. Football, we're going to go to that quickly. All kind of things happen in Division 1. Boy, everything tumbling up and down. There are 3 games going on in Division 1 this evening. Haven't had the results as yet. And what I could tell you, they have started their round 2. There are 10 teams in the Premier Division, in the First Division. Everybody playing, everybody wants. So each team will play 9 matches in the first round and another 9 second. They've done that. They've started the first round a week. That's going to be week 10, which is in round 2, first round in round 2. And on Thursday, Trevor Fates and Associates Molyneux Pit Bulls. They've had a rocky up and down thing. 6 points deducted. The FA for not fielding a team. The FA then saying, well, hey, we looked at the matter. We're going to give you back your points. So they went from being 4th on 10 points. When the 6 points were deducted, they dropped to 9th on 4 points. And they've gone back up now. They took care of the then cellar dwellers, Rivers 3-0. Rivers had been selfish with the cellar position, 10th position, for almost all of the season. However, they relinquished that selfishness, and they won their first match and the pop-up. And then in the feature match, CIBC Skellet Garden Hotspurs, they took care of business against Connery Fireballs 2-0. On Friday last, 2 matches were postponed to today because of the funeral of Ballage. And then on Sunday, a match wasn't played, so all 3 matches are being played today. KFC Trinity Challengers, who have been leading for some time, they are actually in virgin territory. They played in the Premiership before, but they've been relegated. And since then, they have not been in the top 3. But they are now challengers. That's KFC Trinity Challengers United. They're playing Fast Cash Mother Beckett's Saddlers, who got demoted a couple years ago and they cannot find the appetite to be promoted again. Elko Limited Security Forces, the cellar dwellers, and coming up against 607 Construction, Lodge Patriots. Lodge, the only team in the First Division not to have played in the Premiership, if I'm not mistaken. They have been leading at the early part of the season. They dropped down to 2nd, 3rd. They're back up leading. Are they going to hold strength? We don't know. Mantab and CIBC Village Galaxy. That's the 3rd match. If we look at the points without this round of matches, Rivers, Rivers had 6 points deducted from them for not fielding a team. And the team is at least a minimum of 7 players. So if you don't have 7 players, you don't have a team. So Rivers, they won 1 match, lost 8. They are -3 in the cellar. Security Forces winning 1, drawing 2, losing 6. They are 5 points. And in 9th, in 8th, We have Connery Fireballs, winning 2, losing 1, winning 2, drawing 1, losing 6, 7 points. And then we have in 7th, Fast Cash Mother Becky T Sadlers on 9 points, 2, 3, 4, winning 2, drawing 3, losing 4. That is their stats. So there are 4 teams who are yet to get into double figures. And then we have, who else? We have in 5th, we have Molyneux. They have been up and down a roller coaster ride, like I said, and they are now settled in 5th for the time being because, of course, this is a dynamic thing. It changes. They won 3, lost, draw 2, lose 4. They are on 11 points. Sorry, that's Mantab. Mantab in 6th. Won 3, drawn 2, and lost 4. They are on 11 points. Molyneux in 5th, winning 5, drawing 1, losing 3, on 16 points. We have CIBC Village Galaxy, formerly South Stars, in case you're wondering. 5-2-2 is their record on 17 points. Trinity, KFC Trinity Challengers United, Virgin Territory, 6-1-2. They are 19 points in 3rd. 2nd, we have Skellig Garden Hotspurs, 7-0-2. Their record, 21 points. Tied with Lodge, 607 Construction, Lodge Patriots. However, same stats, 7-0-2. Lodge Patriots, they are ahead because of a better goal difference. They've scored 31, Spurs, given up 9, so their goal difference is 22. Whereas we had a Lodge, they've put 43 bulges in the old onion bag and had 15 bulges in their own onion bag. So their goal difference is 28. And that is the position. Remember, the top 2 teams will be promoted to the Premiership. And if you look at the Premiership, boy, all kinds of things happening. I wonder if my producer got the song, Watch the Creep Up, boy. But anyway, because that is what's happening here. A team that started in the 10th position now find themselves in the 4th position. And that is, well, I'm going to come to that. Let me call the points before I come to that, actually. The last round of matches on the weekend, where are we? On Sunday, 14th, Valentine's Day, Newtown. I don't know what's happening in Newtown, but whatever it is, something good to keep. Newtown, they put away the FA Cup champions and the President Cup champions, Rams Village Stars, 3-2, after Village was leading 2-1. Trans Global Engineering, DB Eagles, the cellar dwellers for the entire season. They too were selfish with the cellar position. However, by virtue of them defeating St. Kitts Concrete Masters Sandy Point, winning their first match, they were able to move off the table. Azul Cairn Rockets, they started high up, but they have been having a torrid time. SL Horsford, St. Paul's United, the defending back-to-back champions, they choked them in the eye, as with the colloquial. They gave them a 1-0. And on Sunday, Sol Island Otto Connery, who'd been up and down the points table as well, they slid past Tropical Blossoms Hot Springs Bath United 2-1. And former FA Cup champions, Multravine Farms Clean Rights United Old Road Jets, they have been having a roller coaster ride. They defeated Development Bank St. Peter's, who also have been having a coaster ride, 3-1. Development Bank St. Peter's, they made it up as far as 3rd. We're going to come to the points. But Old Road in Virgin Territory, they win the first game and they were in the first position. And they have had that in all 11 matches they have played. They have completed their round 1 in the Premier, and they have so far played 2 rounds of matches in the second round. So they have played 11 matches. And if we look at the points, let us start from the bottom. We have a new cellar dweller. We have St. Kitts Concrete Masters Sandy Point. They are now residing in the cellar position. They've won 1 match, drawn 2, lost 8, so they have 5 points. Hot Springs Bath United, they were in the cellar position earlier, they got out, and they have been flirting with it, but now they're back now, not the cellar position, sorry, relegation zone. They are now back in the relegation zone, winning 1, losing 3, and winning 1, drawing 3, losing 7. They have 6 points. Trans Global Engineering, the Eagles, I could imagine them breathing a sigh of relief. They won the first division last year. As part of their rewards, I think their management organized for them to have a 2-week tour in England, but that isn't really helping them now. They are in 8th, winning 2, losing 1, winning 2, losing 8. They have 1 drawn match. They have 7 points. 3 teams not in double figures as yet. Azul Kean Rockets, they've slid down from 2nd at 1 point to 7th. Their record is 4-1-6, and they have 13 points. Development Bank St. Peter's, they too have had a roller coaster ride. They are in 6th on 15 points. One of 3 teams on 15 points, actually. They've won 4, drawn 3, lost 4. We're going to touch the goal difference in a bit. Sol Island Otto Connery, they are 5th. Same stats, winning 4, losing 3. Drawing 3, losing 4, 15 points. And the creep-up team, SL Horsford St. Paul's United, they've won 7, lost 4. They are also on 15. And remember, St. Paul's had 6 points deducted from them. So if we look at why they are ahead, it's because of a greater goal difference. St. Peter's, they've scored 20, given up 24, so their goal difference is -4.
May I ask a question? Why were the 6 points deducted from St. Paul's?
They had some disciplinary sanctions in the opening game, the President's Cup match versus Rams Village Superstars. There was a fight between them, so both teams were docked initially 9 points, and then the SKNFA disciplinary committee looked at it, and they said, no, we're going to reduce it to 6 points. And Village appealed, and on whatever grounds they appealed, they won the appeal. And then their deduction was just 2 points. So whereas St. Paul's had been deducted 6 points, Village were only deducted 2 points.
Yeah, but where is the justification in that when both teams were involved in the fight?
Yes, the argument is there was only one player really from Village who was involved in the fight, whereas there were quite a few players from St. Paul's, as many as 9 persons were suspended, including the goalkeeper who ran half of the field from his goal into the other half.
To get involved in the fight.
To get involved in the fight.
My goodness.
Not as a peacemaker.
But he should have been red carded on the spot.
Well, and hence 9 because it wasn't a good sight. It was ugly.
Yeah,
and I really agree with the suspensions.
The penalty? Okay.
Not because they're individual players. It's a team responsibility. The management of the team players as well as the management of the team, the administration. So jump in and bring peace to the situation, quell it. Yeah. But St. Paul's players, they just kept on coming in and supporting the fight. And persons felt that other Village players should have jumped in and supported their Village colleague. But they stood out, and that's why they came down to 2 points. And Connery, they've netted 18 times, given up 20, so their goal difference is -2. St. Peter's, -4 or -4. St. Peter's, Connery, -2 or -4. St. Paul's, they've put 21 bulges in the old onion bag and only given up 11. So their goal difference is +10, +10. So they are on top of the 3 teams with 15 points. Rams Village Superstars, the defending FA Cup champions and the current FA Cup champions and the President Cup champions, They are third on 16 points, 5 victories, 3 drawn matches, 3 losses. Honda Newtown United, they were relegated for the 24 season. They came back up for the 25 season. And for the 26 season, they are in the Premiership. And since they got to the Premiership, they have risen to the second slot. And they are holding on to that for green death according to old people. They have a record of 8-1-2, 8 victories, 1 drawn, 2 losses. They have 25 points. They are 9 points ahead of Village in 3, 10 points ahead of St. Paul's in St. Paul's, Connery, and St. Peter's on 15. They are 6 points.
Talking to me.
They are 6 points behind the leaders. Old Road, my apologies for that drop in there. Old Road, Montreal Farms, Clean Rights United, Old Road Jets. They are in serious virgin territory. From round 1, week day 1, they have been in the first position and they have maintained that. They are on 31 points, winning 10, and they are the only team not to have lost a match so far. They have had 1 drawn match, 10 victories. They are on 31 points, 6 points ahead of Newtown in second, and that is 15 points ahead of Village in third, and 16 points ahead of St. Paul's, Connery, and St. Peter's in 4, 5, and 6. Over the last 2 seasons, St. Paul's, they have started sluggishly, 8th, 7th, but they have worked their way up. Last year, some may argue that they got into the Final Four by the skin of their teeth, but the important thing is they got in. And when they got in, they won the championship. So they are now the back-to-back defending champions. And I've said about 3-4 years ago, in my view, from how Bath and Old Road were playing back then for the seasons coming up, and I've said that Old Road or Bath will win the Premiership in about 3 years or thereabout. They won the FA Cup a couple years ago, and they are in a position to honor my prediction if they were to go on to make the Final Four in the first instance and go on to make the semi-finals and win. There's a saying, the race ain't for the swift, but who endure it to the end. So we really got to see how they're going to work out, if they could hold on, if they could get through, and etc. I also made the prediction that after one of them and Bath winning the competition, the Premiership, within 3 years, 4 years, then the other team will go on to win it in the next 2 years, year or two after. Bath is going against my prediction because Bath, they are now in the relegation zone. They are 9th. And I understand why quite a few of their players have gone off to school, quite a few young players.
I'm going to shoot a question at you. The St. Paul's team, they seem to have a lot of talented players with great potential, because they have shown repeatedly, over and over again, that they have the capacity to win the local tournament. And one would ask, a team that is so filled with talent, so much potential, why would they want to engage in these fights on field that make the Republic of St. Paul's look so bad in public view? And like I said, they have a lot of talented players. They seem to have a good technical staff. They seem to have a good coaching staff, good management team in terms of the work that they do with the team. And mind you, St. Paul's, they have the advantage of having an old field and a new field. So they have that advantage over other teams because...
Except Sandy Point.
Right. SP was the best SP. Yeah, definitely. But, well, they're on par in terms of fields. But I'm saying the St. Paul's team should make a better effort to avoid these fights and to bring that sort of public shame on the Republic of St. Paul's. And bearing in mind, that is where you have... originating, the Honorable Denzel Douglas, and your first premier, I think, came from that village.
Correct, most correct. there's a word we use, hot-blooded, hot-headed. It is felt that that community is somewhat hot-blooded, hot-headed, and easy to get in to a fight. We've had the challenges of the gangs between them and Sandy Point when, in the past, attending Sandy Point High School, now SEMS.
Right.
And I think that may be part of their culture, their DNA. Very easy to react to confrontation.
And sometimes overreact.
And overreact to
Because
confrontation.
a quick question again is, from all accounts and from what you have heard or learnt, what would you say, what have you picked up might have been the cause of this mass fight that brought about the suspension and the deduction of the points?
There was an incident, I was at the game, there was an incident between a player from Village and a player from St. Paul's. I can't remember who initiated it, but we always hear that two people can't fight. Some of us want to be macho. If we back away, our friends and colleagues might call us, our peers might call us coward and...
CC.
Yes, and there's another word meaning the female line. Yeah, so I guess to prove that we are not, we stand up and we fight. And when that happened between these two individuals, a second from St. Paul's joined in, and then a third, and then a fourth and fifth, and some 7, 8, 9 of them, I think, got involved. So that was something I don't believe should have happened that way. And chances are, when it started, a little shuffle, a little squabble, and a push, maybe if it didn't have it escalate to that, maybe the referee would have just shown the two of them a yellow card apiece for disrespecting the game or whatever the case is. But when it escalated, he had no choice. He had to give the red cards.
Right.
And obviously, some of their players were suspended. The team, they were docked 6 points, but they were individual punishment. There was individual punishment. Some players got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. Suspension. And that is why, apart from starting -6, they lost the 5 games. Because if we look at St. Paul's, the last match, they defeated Keon 1-0. The match before that, they defeated Connery 5-1. The match before that, they defeated Connery 2-0 in the first round. And they also defeated Bath 2-1. So they were on a they defeated, Diabet 2-1. So they were on a 5-match winning spree. So that helped to bring them up from where they were in the cellar position today. So they have been creeping up with victories. And remember, they are back-to-back champions. And they have won the championship something like 7 times.
Right. I think one of the things that the coaching staff and the management team need to do with the players is instill in them that football is indeed and in truth and in fact a close contact sport. So that must happen in football. So it doesn't mean that you have a tough tackle, a strong tackle. It doesn't necessarily mean that a man is physically assaulting you. It's part of the game. So I think
exactly
they need to teach that.
It's a contact sport, and I suspect they do, and I suspect they know.
Oh.
However, when it comes to ego, some of the time it takes little or nothing to cause you to
trigger a fight.
Exactly. So that is sad.
All right, we get the point.
So that's it from the football point of view. We had track and field. We're going to take a break now for a couple seconds, and then we're going to come back with basketball because that's also happening, junior basketball and track and field. We touched that, but we're going to give you, when we come back, the events that are coming up just now, and something we'll touch, which I don't know why it's happening. But let's go to a break, and we will be back. Stick and stay. Don't go away.
We must admit that not everybody has a 9 to 5, and a lot of persons that have a 9 to 5.
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune into On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball. Past 8. Welcome back to another edition of On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. And just a reminder, you can get us on Facebook as well as on YouTube. And you can also call us locally, 466-0989, 662-0989. And in the UK, you call us 033-344-0065, 033-344-0065. In the USA, you call 718-285-6984. US, you call 718-285-6984. And in Canada, 305-921-4619. Canadians, you call 305-921-4619. Thank you for joining us here at WINN FM 98.9, and thank you for listening. And please call, share your view, share your suggestion. We are going to be going into cricket just now, but before we do that, let us touch basketball with the St. Kitts and Nevis Amateur Basketball Association, SCANABA. Their junior league started on Saturday, 31st January, and there were some 7 teams in. However, the hitters, they dropped out, so they withdrew from the competition. So we have Bird Rock Uprisers and the Jayhawks. And the Jayhawks, they have scored the 2 highest totals in the league so far, 96 in the opening match versus 57 from Bird Rock Uprisers. And on Saturday 7th, they beat St. Thomas Trinity United, the New Kids on the Block, 94-53. So those are the 2 highest scores. Now, the lowest score is 36, scored by Sandy Point Falcons, former champion, when they were defeated by Youth and the Sports Raiders, 84, which is the 3rd highest score, 84. 36 by Sandy Point is the lowest score so far, and 53 by St. Thomas Trinity United. That's the 2nd lowest when they were beaten by Achievers Sports Club's Jayhawks, 94. We haven't had any results since after Saturday 7th. The matches from Tuesday 10th were rained out, and the next set of matches, Thursday, I think they should have been played today. So I'm expecting some results. And Thursday 12th, there'll be 2 matches. St. Thomas Trinity United versus Sandy Point Falcons at 6 p.m. at Dorset Park. And at 7:30 p.m., St. Paul's Tough Nuts versus Achievers Sports Club's Jayhawks. So 2 wonderful matches happening at Dorset. So go on out and look at it. In terms of track and field, we mentioned the various zonals they had. Something happened on Sunday, Sunday 15th February. Charles E. Mills Secondary School had their sports day down at the New Sandy Point Recreation Ground, and Basti High School had their sports day up at Kim Collins. I believe these are easily the top two, the biggest two sports meet we have for the schools. It's not the first time. It happened last year. I'm not certain if it happened the year before. SEMS and Basti High having their sports day on the same day. I know because of the number of the days and because of the number of schools, primary and high school, there are two sets of sports days, sometimes three. One on the east, one on the west, and one from the Basti zone happening at the same time. But I don't think SEMS and Basti High, SEMS Eagles and Basti High, the birthplace of champions, they shouldn't be having a clash. There are some persons who are going to go to SEMS, there are some persons who are going to go to Basti High's sports day. However, I believe the bulk of the people will go to both. So once you have the two of them on the same day, the spectatorship is going to split. That's something for the schools to consider. On the 19th of February, which is Thursday, Beach Island Primary will have their sports day at Newtown. On the Friday, the 20th, the private schools championship will be happening. That's where all the private schools, talking about ICCS Convent, Maricelia, Seventh-day Adventists, and factory school. I forget the name of factory, the name they call factory school. They will be having their sports day. That's on Friday the 20th. On Saturday the 21st of this month, the Newton Ground Primary School will be having their sports day at Breeze Park, Newton Ground, at Breeze Park, Newton Ground. The Jinxing Classic, that's a meet organized by the SKN Athletics. That will take place at Kim Collins, and they've had one or two before, and 3 athletes have made the Carifta team so far. And the Carifta, that is going to be down somewhere in the windwards. I can't recall that. But that is the case. And quickly look at the upcoming matches for football in the Premier League. Saturday coming the 17th. So pardon me, no, I am way back out to touch. Not Saturday the 17th. Here we go. Sunday the 22nd, Premier League matches are played Sundays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So how is this going to change up now? The mini, Saturday 21st, Saturday coming. Development Bank St. Peter's will lock horns with Tropical Blossoms Hot Spring Bath United at 4 p.m. All matches at the Technical Center. Azul Vams Village Superstars, the FA Cup champions and the President Cup champions, they will tackle Trans Global Engineering Bay Eagles at 6 p.m. And Azul Keon Rockets will come up against Sol Island Otto Connery at 8 p.m. And the triple header is on Saturday 21st. On Sunday 22nd, the leaders Mulcherville Farms Clean Rights United Old Road Jets will take on the Cellar Dwellers St. Kitts Concrete Masters Sandy Point. And this is the first time in Sandy Point's history that they are playing 2 successive seasons in the Premiership. I started playing with Sandy Point in 1985, and between 85 and now, that is what, 40 years? Wow, boy, that's a long time, boy. In 40 years of playing football, the last 40 years, Sandy Point, they have never stayed up twice in the Premier Division, except last season and this season. But how it's looking, they really have to put on some strong performances to avoid relegation.
Is this one instance when we can say SP where the best not be?
Well, I like that. Well, we still maintain SP where the best be, and that encompasses everything. We have the best of the best, but we also have the best of the not so best. So it's not just the upper echelons, the best of the best. It's the whole spectrum. So, but this is one of the situations where they're not being the best they can be. So,
What would you say has made Sandy Pointers over the years so proud to the point where they pride themselves on being the best? And mind you, I say that anytime I meet a Sandy Pointer, and I really and truly applaud them for being so proud of the village and making the village so proud.
it might be several facts and not in any order. We were the second town. We are the second town in St. Kitts. Old Road was the first where Sir Thomas Warner landed in 1624, where the English landed there when they came in to colonize St. Kitts. Cairn was the first town. Sandy Point was the second. Sorry. Old Road was the first town, Sandy Point was the second. Dateby and Cairn, they are also towns, but it looked like that is of no significance to them. No moment, they don't pride themselves in that, but we do. But not only that, we were the capital of the Leeward Islands. A lot of persons may not know that.
Yeah, that's breaking news to me.
There's an area in Sandy Point called Downing Street. Does that name ring a bell to you?
Yes, definitely.
And tell the people what bell it rings to you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, well, it has a touch of British.
Correct.
About it.
The Prime Minister of England lives at number 10 Downing Street.
Yeah.
So our Downing Street in Sandy Point was named after that in England because we were the administrative capital of the Leeward Islands.
Okay.
When you're going down Downing Street, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, it is the second building on the left, and just below that there's a 3-story wooden building. That was the government headquarters of the Leeward Islands.
Oh, I see. That's breaking news to me.
Yes, so a lot of people don't know that. Mm-hmm. So that's part of the reason we said SP were the best be. But of course, there's also the challenge that we put up almost daily against the rest of St. Kitts. For some reason, persons, I don't want to use the word, don't like Sandy Pointers, but for want of a better expression, they're harsh on Sandy Pointers, maybe because of our pride. Some people consider us boasting. But we are just good in quite a few areas, and we don't fail to remind people that we are. SEMS, Charles E. Middle Secondary School, they've won the track and field champions inter-school. They are the 8th time defending champion right now. They've won it 30-something out of 40-something meetings they've had it.
Yeah, times, yeah.
And they've won it 8 straight before as well. So this is not the first time. This is not virgin territory for us. And we've produced top sportsmen and women from Sandy Point, top scholars, permanent secretaries, and things like that.
Pastors.
Pastors, exactly.
You don't have to give a long answer to this question. Was there ever a port in Sandy Point?
Yes, there was. Apart from Bastia, there was a seaport in Sandy Point. And
where ships could berth?
Yes, well, not ships, not large
cargo
ships.
Ships.
Yes. It was more cargo and fishing, but that was destroyed by a hurricane.
Oh, okay.
When it was
I get the picture. I get the picture.
89.
Right.
So
that answers my question.
When we say SP were the best be, we sort of speak with some degree of authority.
Yeah.
Of course, not in the football.
I get you.
Football, netball is another area we haven't quite dominated.
Yeah.
But
I get the picture.
I could tell you, the youngster Javal Hodge from Sandy Point, he has the record for the highest individual score in Leeward Islands cricket tournament, 245.
That's senior or junior cricket?
Senior cricket. 245.
Playing for St. Kitts.
Playing for St. Kitts.
Right. You remember what year that was?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But he batted about 4 or 5. He normally batted at 5.
Right, that's fine.
Very good sportsman. Basketball, cricket as well.
Yeah, and I really admire the female cricketer from Sandy Point who
This is
has
our Claxton.
represented the
Well,
West
I
Indies.
mean, I didn't even remember. I didn't even
Yeah,
remember
this
that.
young lady, my goodness, this young lady has really impressed me, I tell you. I mean, bear in mind that she has made the West Indies team not coming out of a system where St. Kitts has a female cricket league. Imagine it, that had to be sheer individual determination
Exactly.
to go on to play for the West Indies and excel. I mean, she's outstanding. Trust me, I am really impressed with her, and she reminds me of the former Grenada and West Indies fast bowler Nordica McIntyre.
Mm.
Yeah, I never saw her play, but I knew her.
And bearing in mind, Jazara, she represented St. Kitts and Nevis in track and field as well.
I have also heard that, yeah.
And she was captain of the on the 20 female team.
Wow.
I think it was.
Yeah,
And she I think she has basically given up the cricket and the track and field to concentrate on this because.
Oh, even she has given up on the track and field.
Yes,
to
I
focus
don't.
on the cricket.
Yes, I don't think she has. And I guess when you do it in multiple sports at these elite levels,
Yep.
injuries
It
takes a lot, and then the possibility of injuries.
Yeah,
So I think she has concentrated on that,
yeah.
the cricket, and who wouldn't really? And we were talking about St. Paul's, SL Hartsford St. Paul's United. This is going to be a tremendous clash. Sunday, the 22nd, Sunday coming at 6 p.m. up at the Technical Centre. SL Hartsford St. Paul's United in 4th, Honda Newtown United in 2nd. Not because of that. It's a natural rivalry. Newtown, they are multiple champions as well. St. Paul's, they have 7 championships under their belt. So that is going to be a tit-for-tat round. On Thursday, the 19th, we have round, what's this going to be? 11, starting in the first division. And we have some matches, and we'll tell you the venues in a minute where they are going to be played. I need to get that, but, well, it takes some time. But on Thursday the 19th, Connery Fireballs International and CIBC Village Galaxy, they are going to be clashing heads in the first of a doubleheader. And then Fast Cash Motobekities, Saddlers United, they are having a torrid time. I think greater things were expected of them. They are not doing too well. They're going to be coming up against Rivers FC, an opportunity for them to perhaps get into double figures, Saddlers. Skellet Garden Hotspurs. Whoa. Why should this be a match? Well, I guess when the fixtures were done up, nobody knew how this would have been working out. But the first 2 games on Thursday, they are going to be at Saddlers. These 2 games are also going to be at Saddlers at 6 p.m. on Friday. Skellet Garden Hotspurs in number 2, coming up against the leaders, 607 Construction, Lodge Patriots. And at 8 p.m., KFC Trinity Challengers in 3rd, coming up against the Trevor Freights and Associates Molyneux Pitbulls in 5th. So that is going to be interesting. Friday, big matches. And on Sunday, Elko Limited Security Forces and the Rivers will battle it out. So here we are. We touched track and field, we touched basketball, we touched football, swimming. I have to mention this thing about swimming. I crave your indulgence a bit there. Please, Baptist. There's a youngster from St. Kitts and Nevis, Grayson Burrell. And he has been working wonders when it comes to racing. And he's in a class, I forget the name of the class he's in, and he's actually in Martinique competing. And he has been doing well. And it's a week long. To give an idea, he was 34th out of 49. And this youngster is just in the teens. And every day, 38 out of 49 on day 2. And he 33 out of 49 on day 3. So 34th, 38, 33. Those were his positioning in on those 3 days. And Belgium, Canada, France, Guadeloupe, Saint Martin, and Saint Martin, that is Dutch and French, they are competing. So this competition here is really stiff. So we have to say congratulations to Grayson Burrell. His number is 22, SKN 22. And this is the 34th International Sailing Week in Martinique. And this youngster is out there doing well. We say congratulations to Elizabeth Burrell of the St. Kitts Yacht Club and the Commodore and all the persons there who are supporting him and the opportunity to actually go further and further.
Is Mr. Burrell from the island of Nevis?
No, actually he's from St. Kitts.
St. Kitts. So where in St. Kitts? And approximately how old is he?
I think he's about 12, 13, somewhere there about.
A youngster. He's actually a high school student.
Yeah, he's from Bastia. You mentioned St. Kitts. You mentioned Nevis. Nevis, they are very strong in the sailing as well. And they have Weeks, one of the coaches over there. He has been doing a wonderful job.
That's the reason why I asked if he's from Nevis, because I've been following your program all the time.
Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that.
I listen to your interviews.
Thanks a lot, yeah. And but hey, I think we have a lot of talent here in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Plenty.
And good evening, Jane.
Endless.
Jane is the president of the St. Kitts and Nevis Triathlon Association, newly members of the St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in, and we are now going across to cricket. A lot of interesting cricket have been played.
Mr. Mills, just before we get into the cricket, I would like you to inform our listeners as to who were the winners of the recently concluded Australian Open, both men and women.
That's interesting. Very good question. I'll start by saying this. There was history there because the first openly homosexual.
Well, the term that is used in the U.S. is gay.
Gay, okay. Gay.
Rather, unfortunately, because people who probably haven't studied English may not be aware that the word gay means to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I really and truly cannot comprehend, I cannot fathom, and I cannot understand how two men coming together sexually can be happy. Well, I don't understand it. I never will.
I could encourage you to go and find out and let me know.
I am not interested.
Because I certainly will.
Next topic, please.
But that's a good thing about this getting. And we have to be careful because when it comes to petitions and divisions, we're so literal with words. And, for example, if we say that saxman, somebody who blows a trumpet horn, does a good blowjob, that is going to be easily misconstrued for other things unless you put it into context.
Yeah, very much so.
And the gay, if I say, well, I'm gay, people going to watch me funny. Hey, you're homosexual, Biff?
My friend, one of our folk songs in Grenada, it has the word gay in it.
Mm-hmm.
It has the word gay in it. And it was sung on the 6th of February when we had our flag-raising ceremony at the front of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. One of our very popular folk songs has the word gay in it. Grenadians, nice and gay.
Okay, you're nice and gay. Okay.
Yeah. It's speaking about happiness.
Yeah, the context of that is the happiness.
The happiness of
Because
Grenadians.
my question would have been, who wrote the song and which side of the sexual divide that person was.
My friend, I did that at the time when that song was written, when that song was produced, all this talk about gay and all of that we hear coming out of the U.S., that term in that particular context was non-existent. I do believe that strongly.
Well, bearing in mind that the
Let us stick to sports.
Well, before we go
move
back
on.
there, bearing in mind that even in the Bible, there was that homosexual activity because
Yeah, yeah.
Sodom and Gomorrah that the Lord destroyed.
That is true. As a result of that.
So that has been around a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah, that is
And,
quite true. That
Well,
is
even
quite
from slavery days,
That's quite true.
because what I've seen.
Because that's the main reason why Sodom and Gomorrah were
Was
destroyed.
destroyed, exactly.
As a result of
and-
that type of sexual immorality,
And even in slavery,
which is an abomination in the eyes of God.
exactly. And when it comes to slavery, the slave masters used to perform homosexual acts on slaves that were rebellious, were leading the rebellions,
Right.
to belittle
As a
them.
form of punishment.
Yes, and asking the slaves, hey, this is who you really want to be your leader, somebody who I just had sex with and dominated, etc., which is sad. But anyway, you mentioned...
Try to humiliate them.
Exactly. You mentioned the Australian Open, and the guy, when you look at the guy, he's a very handsome guy, a black guy from out of Brazil. Can't remember his name. He openly admitted he is gay. I am gay. And I don't know.
Well, let's hope he's happy.
But I don't know if this is a changing of the guard. Alcaraz, a Spaniard, Carlos Alcaraz, he defeated Novak Djokovic. And I should say Alcaraz, he's the number 1 seed, and Djokovic, number 4. And we know Djokovic numerous titles. In the finals, he lost the first set, 2-6, and he came back and won the other 3 sets, 6-2, 6-3, 7-5. That is Alcaraz, the Spaniard, and therefore he is the male champion. In terms of the women, the female, the higher ranked person or team doesn't always win, because Sabalenka, Ania Sabalenka, the number 1 seed, she was defeated by Elena Rybakina. Rybakina won the first set 6-4. Sabalenka came back, won the second set 6-4.
Rybakina is from which country?
Russia.
Okay, Russia.
And then 6-4. Rybakina won 6-4. And in terms of the men's doubles, and with men's doubles, you could mix up with anybody. C. Harrison from the US and the English N. Skipsky, they defeated New Zealanders Jake Cobbler and M. Paulmans 7-6, 6-4. That's the men's.
Right. I don't think there is any surprise there with Spaniard winning the tournament, because the Spaniards over the years, they have had the history of winning on clay. And we saw the left-hander Rafael Nadal dominating the clay court for many years. So there's no real surprise there. The Spaniards are very strong on clay.
And like I said, maybe it's the new guard taking place, younger, stronger, faster persons over the older, because Djokovic, he's been around like for forever.
So he has made his mark. Certainly.
Exactly. He has contributed
big time,
tremendously. So even if he doesn't go, he'll want to retire when he's up in areas still being remembered.
Yeah, he has been an outstanding player. There is no doubt about that.
And again, you're listening to On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. I am Troy Bif Mills with my host, Rodney Baptist.
Guest.
And my co-host, Rodney Baptist, I thank him for being here.
Oh, guest.
And I must indicate, normally we invite persons, but he volunteered. And we really appreciate that, because I was planning to go solo tonight because our guests, they couldn't make it at the last moment. So Rodney, I was wondering who could I call. There's a gentleman I normally call at the last minute, and he normally comes, but guilty conscience of that happening so often kind of bothered me. So I decided not to call him tonight. I'll go alone. But here's Baptist stepping up, and I would argue that perhaps it's the Lord who put it on his heart to do that.
The Lord works in divine, in mysterious ways.
Definitely.
He certainly does.
And he's here with us. Now we're going in, whoa, time flying Baptist, we're going into cricket. And perhaps, yes, the Under 19 World Cup, the West Indies participated there. And we had Kunal Tilokani from St. Kitts taking part in that World Cup. And he had a very good 2025, I can tell you that, at the Under 19, Under 17, and the senior level. So much so that at the West Indies Under 17 level, he was the man of the series at the Under 19. And the West Indies, they made it to the Super 6 round, but they didn't make it any further. They actually were second. They qualified second from Group D behind Afghanistan, South Africa, and Tanzania. South Africa qualified as well as, Tanzania. They were disqualified. And then in the Super 6, the Windies, they didn't have such a good showing because the points system Baptist from the first round, the round robin, they are brought to the Super 6. So obviously, if you lost one or two matches, you'll be at a greater disadvantage than teams that would have won 3. What is your view on that? Carrying forward the points from the Super 6s. Normally in competitions, once you move from one stage to another, next you start all over again. But for the Super cricket, whatever you had, victories you had in the first round, the group stages, you carry over the points. What are your views on that? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing?
I don't support it. I think that teams should start afresh. You're going into a new round. I see no reason why points should be carried from a previous round, because we have to bear in mind that this is not something like West Indies 4-day championship or an English county championship or Australian Sheffield Shield 4-day cricket. We are talking here about limited overs cricket. So whether it's Super 50s, 50 overs per side, or 20 overs per side, I don't see the logic in that. I think the teams should be allowed to start afresh whenever they move on to a new round.
Life generally is about rewarding good performances. So could it be a case if you won the zone, you're being rewarded by carrying your points over as an encouragement factor?
Oh, a sort of incentive.
Incentive, yes.
Right, well, I guess they have the rationale for doing that. I do not know. I am in no position to tell why, but I am looking at it from a logical standpoint, from my personal standpoint.
Well, I understand that. And I think I am not too sure where I am on that point right now, really. I've been wondering about it for some time, but I am not too sure whether I am in favor of it or I am not in favor. So at this position, at this point, I am like a former Premier of Nevis. I'm neutral. I'm stuck in neutral, so to speak. But India, they defeated England in the finals, and India 411 for 9. England only got as far as 311. And 411 is a 50 over, is a lot of runs.
Yeah, plenty. That's plenty runs. Plenty runs.
And I think India, with the structures they have, could you be surprised, really? The youngster, they have a 14-year-old youngster. He made 175 from 80 balls, 14-year-old. Do you see us producing a 14-year-old cricketer in the West Indies with this kind of caliber?
It's not going to be easy. It's not impossible, but it's not going to be easy based on the structure that we have in place today, the structure of West Indies cricket. I believe it ought to improve. It needs to improve. And we need to restructure our cricket and do a lot more to nurture our youth cricketers to develop good cricketers. because one can remember the advent of Brian Lara. I mean, Brian Lara came on the scene like a prodigy of West Indies cricket.
Extremely
More or less
talented.
a genius of West Indies cricket. So Brian Lara, to me, is the best batsman the West Indies has ever produced. That's how I look at Brian Lara. I mean, I never saw George Headley. I've heard quite a lot about George Headley.
What about Vivian Richards?
I have heard and read a lot about Sir Garfield Sobers. I followed Viv Richards. My mother and I listened to a lot of Viv Richards.
So you're saying,
You understand?
so you're
But
saying
when it
you
comes
still-
to
you put-
when
still
it
put-
comes to batsmanship, Brian Lara, he is my number one.
I understand that. And, I suspect you'll have
Yeah.
tremendous discussions about that person's thinking differently, because some persons believe that Richards Viv was always number one, but we are entitled to different views.
Well, here, one of the reasons why I rate Brian Lara above everybody else is his ability to concentrate for long and his quest is that strong yearning for runs, you know, that greed for runs and not wanting bowlers to get him out. 400, not out.
501 as well.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness, I just love that about Brian Lara. The last scores.
But Richards not using a helmet. Batting and going down.
Well, mind
He
you,
struck once, but coming back still.
mind you, when Richards scored 281,
Fastest century as well.
281 against England, I was listening to that match. I was still in primary school, and I don't forget it. So, I mean, I know Viv Richards was good. I know he was good, but I rate Brian Lara based on his ability to concentrate and that ability to stay at the crease and tell bowlers, you cannot get me out. I love that. I love great batsmen like Desmond Haynes, men who you just have to work hard to get them out. I love batsmen who don't give away the wicket.
You're talking about
Chandler
Chandler.
Paul, yeah, Larry Holmes. But once there is a batsman who does not give his wicket away, I love that batsman.
Exactly.
I don't want to see batsmen playing loose strokes and giving bowlers wicket. Let bowlers bowl for the wicket. Exactly. So that is what I love about Brian Lara. The massive scores. I saw Brian Lara score the 375. I saw the hook stroke for 4. That was in St. George's. I was on Melville Street in St. George's when that happened. And you remember the bowler. It was a short. He was West Indian born. I don't quite remember the name. Maynard wouldn't.
Devon Marshall, was it? Or Philip De Freitas?
Not the Freitas. Not the Freitas. I know Maynard would not have forgotten that.
Chris Lewis?
Chris Lewis.
He was an all-rounder.
Right. Oh boy, I really don't remember the
okay.
name of the bowler, but I saw the delivery, I saw the hook stroke for 4. I was listening when Brian Lara scored the 400 in Antigua when he took back his record from the Australian left-hander who had broken his record.
That was Boone, David Boone, was it?
No, it wasn't David Boone.
Langer, Justin Langer?
No.
I can't remember, but I know it was
An Australian.
He had broken the record for
The 375. He surpassed the 375 that Lara scored against Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Zimbabwe. Yeah.
Breaking the record before that was 374 by Sobers. But before and time slipping away, let us look at the T20 Senior World Cup. And the Female World Cup is going to be happening just now as well. And 20 teams, 4 groups of 5 matches. Group A, India already qualified. They've won all three of their 3 matches so far. They have 1 more match to play. USA, well, that is still open. USA, they're on 4 points, ahead of Pakistan also on 4 points. USA have played all their matches. They've won 2, lost 2. Pakistan, they've only played 3, they've won 2 and lost 1. They have a fourth match, their fourth and final match to play. That is Pakistan. They could get in, maybe they may not get in. And who are they playing?
The name has come. Matthew Hayden.
Hayden, yeah. Okay.
Matthew Hayden, the left-hander. He scored 380 against Zimbabwe in October 2003. Yeah, he was an opener.
Okay, but going back to the World Cup, Pakistan's next match is against Namibia. They who are hosting, co-host. So Pakistan should win that match and should go to 6 points along with India. India still they have one more match to play. India, they have a humongous net run rate of plus 3.050. So that's Namibia. They have been eliminated as yet. Mathematically, the Netherlands, they have a chance. They are on 2 points as well with one more match to go. And the Netherlands, they're going to play India, which the pundits would believe that India will win. And when you go to Group B, this is really the surprising group. Oman, they've lost all 3 matches. Australia, they've won 1 and lost 2. They are not only in 4th, but they have been eliminated. The most they could get to is 4 points. Ireland, they have been eliminated as well. They've played all 4 matches. They won 1, lost 2. They had 1 no result. Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe, both teams defeating Australia to go through. Both of them have 1 more match to play. And Australia, and that is against each other. So that will determine definitely who is 1, who is 2. But Australia losing to Sri Lanka, did you really see them, Baptiste, losing to Zimbabwe, Australia?
No, because Zimbabwe in recent times haven't really been doing too well on the international scene. But seemingly the Zimbabweans purposed in their hearts and their minds that they had to create an upset. So I guess they prepared well, they planned, they structured the game, and they applied pressure on the Australians, and the Australians wilted. So kudos to Zimbabwe for a job well done. I really did not envisage or could not forecast or see Zimbabwe upsetting Australia and sending the Australians packing that early in the tournament.
And we've seen, well, Zimbabwe is not quite a minnow. They've been around a long time.
Yeah, they have
very long
quite
time.
a lot of experience.
But they haven't been up in the top sectors, so to speak. So, but we've seen minnows, even associate members, putting out full members. In the 96 World Cup, Kenya defeated West Indies.
Yep.
And then we had Scotland defeating West Indies, not just the other day, and Nepal defeating West Indies in a 2-1 in a 3-match series down there. So, and we've seen it, I think another minnow would have defeated Australia, 1 defeated England as well. So the thing is, these will happen once you keep playing. Some light team is going to be, maybe you took them for granted. Maybe they just stepped up to the plate on this particular day.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the game is played on the day. So it's all about how you play on that given day, on that particular day. And if a team purpose in their minds and in their hearts that they're going to come hard at you and they are prepared to compete, they can defeat you because they play hard together collectively. And once they put their game together, if you falter in any area, in any department of the game, I mean, that would be good night to you. And one of the things that we are seeing nowadays, a trend, is that some of the teams that were classified or regarded as minnows in the past, they are coming to the fore. I am very impressed with Afghanistan and Nepal. Those two teams, to me, especially Afghanistan, within the next 5 years, Afghanistan would be a force to reckon with on the international scene in international cricket and in all formats, every format. Test, one-day internationals, and T20s.
They have been producing, improving steadily over the years. And
Continuous improvement.
Continuous improvement,
you can
correct.
see all the time.
And they have some of the top-class all-rounders in the world.
They play cricket with a passion.
And Bangladesh as well. And I can remember when Afghanistan and Bangladesh both came into the cricket way back when, decades ago, everybody was really, the full members were beating up on them easily.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore
Not
at all.
anymore.
Bangladesh, it's unfortunate they pulled out of the tournament. Their reasons just for them security. And if they were in, they would have been in this group with West Indies.
Oh, okay.
And that might not have been such an easy game because Bangladesh, again, too, they
They're
have been
tough.
improving. They
They
have
are
been
tough.
improving as well.
Yeah, we have seen some continuous improvement there
Exactly.
as well.
So the Canadas and the USAs and all of these, they have to go through this stage, but they're going to get to that stage where the Bangladesh and Afghanistan are. And in terms of the Japan have some one or two players there. There's a batsman, he made a century. I think that was in the Under 19 World Cup. And I think he might have been the captain, batting at number 5. So these non-traditional cricket countries, Japan, Italy in this World Cup.
They are catching out.
Yes, they are. Namibia in Africa, countries that you won't normally associate with cricket.
Yeah.
Argentina and Brazil, they play cricket.
Yeah.
But it's just that they're not so strong as yet.
Yeah.
The USA and Canada, I think those are the top 2 teams. The Netherlands as well, out of the ICC trying to spread cricket around the world.
Yeah, and the Americans and the Canadians, they are near to the West Indies. So that's an advantage to them in that North America, USA, Canada, close to the West Indies, as we saw the World Cup was staged, West Indies and the USA. That helps the players in the US. And a lot of the players who play both in the USA and Canada are originally from the Caribbean. So that helps USA and Canada cricket. And I think it is good to see that the International Cricket Council, the ICC, they are doing their utmost to spread the game globally, which to me is an outstanding venture. Yeah, an outstanding venture. I am very pleased and quite happy to see that. And I am praying that I live to see cricket in the Olympics.
Well, that's in 2028. That's a good point. We pause and from the ICC World Cup come to that because I'm not too clear of the structure, the format of that as yet. I don't know if the ICC and the IOC will agree, okay, we're going to take the highest top 8 ranking team. I suspect the games will be T10 or T20. It will not be 50 overs.
Right. It shouldn't. It shouldn't.
I think it's going to be either T10 or T20.
Yeah. I would like to see T20.
And like I say, how they're going to select how many teams, I'm also hearing it's going to be like 8 teams as well.
Right.
But
they would have to narrow it down.
Yes. So what criteria are they going to use to select these 8 teams? Are you going to have special competitions for that, like how we have in football or whatever? Or are they going to use the ICC ranking? But bringing it closer to home, St. Kitts and the Nevis will have to have a St. Kitts and Nevis Cricket Association because the Olympics, they recognize the countries.
Individual countries.
The countries, St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yeah.
So West
I
Indies,
am aware of that.
West Indies cannot play as a team.
Right, that's it.
Jamaica, Barbados, St. Kitts and Nevis will have to play. But up to now, I'm not hearing, seeing, or feeling any movement on any side of the needle, on the St. Kitts side or the Nevis side, to start thinking about the St. Kitts and the Nevis Cricket Association.
Right.
Are they going to wait until 27 to do that?
Yeah, they need to start that merger now. They need to take the initiative and merge the two associations so you can have a federal team being selected to participate in an Olympic cricket tournament.
That's the only way we could compete as St. Kitts and Nevis.
There is no other way.
If we'll qualify.
Yeah, there is no other way.
To part in the what they name.
Right. Well, if you really want to qualify, you have to start putting.
Not qualify as in make it to. Let me use another word. If we are eligible,
right,
as opposed to qualify, if we are eligible to participate,
to compete,
in the qualifiers,
right,
that is what I meant.
Right. So what I'm saying is the St. Kitts and Nevis Cricket Associations, they need to put structures in place now so you can merge the two associations together and you can work on selecting a federal team to prepare for the Olympics. You cannot start preparing too early. That is one of the things that I used to stress at ECCB. Whenever we prepared or were preparing
too late
for the intra-regional central banks games, I would suggest let us pick our teams early, start practicing early so we know who would be touring with us. Because it was not easy for us to defeat the Jamaicans. It was not easy for us to defeat the Guyanese, the Trinidadians. We had to struggle to beat these people. It's only in recent times the ECCB has been doing better, and the ECCB has improved its performances in the biennial intra-regional central banks games to the point where not too long ago, I believe the bank placed second. I don't think we have ever won because the Jamaicans, my goodness, they prepare way in advance, well ahead. So it's not easy to beat them.
They're very, very serious about this thing.
Man, they take sports seriously and they play everything with a passion. Watch. The only team that never really socialized and associated much with us in all the tours that we had, the Jamaicans. When you see people, other teams partying and wasting time, the Jamaicans are resting. They are sleeping. They're not into the...
They come focused on a job.
They come to win, and they hardly ever lost. Hardly ever.
Well, before we slip back to the World Cup, on that, I've said it in one of my sports packages. If and when we are to come to that position to create a St. Kitts and Nevis Cricket Association, I suspect mathematically it's possible that the entire executive could come from Nevis. Mathematically. Why? St. Kitts, there are 6 clubs currently, as of today. In Nevis, there are 8. So it's more than likely that the 8 clubs will vote for Nevisians.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's very likely that Carlisle Powell, who is the president of the Nevis Cricket Association, will become the first president of the St. Kitts and Nevis Cricket Association. And again, folks, this is just my humble view. I'm going by the facts and figures before us. I'm not going by any feelings or anything like that. Mathematically, Carlisle and his team from Nevis, because the 6 teams from St. Kitts will vote for, chances are, the parties, the individuals from St. Kitts, and the 8 teams from Nevis will vote for the 8 teams.
That's clubs, huh?
Yes, 8 clubs.
Yeah.
Of course, maybe when that time comes, maybe St. Kitts would get 2 more, 3, 4 clubs, and some from Nevis may drop out. I don't know. But I'm speaking about as of today, as of now, 6 clubs in St. Kitts and 8 clubs in Nevis.
So the Nevisians have the
numerical advantage.
Yeah.
And unless, I believe, a combination of both executive members from both countries, will lend itself to greater transparency and good governance, etc., greater opportunities. So I am thinking that for any petition to get on that executive, It has to be an orchestrated plan by Nevis. Okay? We're going to take this, and that, and let the assistant secretary or the treasurer be from St. Kitts. We're going to vote for it. Those instructions fed down to the clubs in Nevis. I don't think they're going to take it upon themselves. But let's vote for Baptist as the treasurer, or let's vote for Bif as the secretary.
Do you think that the maturity on the part of both executives of St. Kitts and Nevis individual cricket associations has come to the fore and prevails to the point where they would want to sit, discuss, have solid dialogue, and really and truly work together to make that Federal Cricket Association become a reality?
That, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And I say that thinking in my mind that most, if not all, Kittitians have Nevisian families and vice versa. But that relationship between us...
It's close-knit.
Yeah, most families...
Very close-knit.
But still, the relationship between us, from a country point of view, is not as close as it ought to be, as it should be. What you're suggesting to me is a very matured and professional way out. The two executives meet, and they say, well, okay, can we agree that you're going to be this, I'm going to be that, etc., etc.? And even though they agree, they don't have the power to have that happen. Remember, the power lies in the clubs. And the division clubs might, okay, why no, not at all. We're going with you, whatever the case may be. But we'll have to wait and see. Time is slipping away. Actually, we're over time. I'm hoping my producer will give me a few minutes more, because we need to talk about the Super 8s that is actually happening, and who is where, what is where. In terms, we spoke about the group stages, and I think they're only going to play 2 matches in group, 1 or 2 matches in the group, the Super 8. And something what has happened, Baptiste, the seeded teams, they were put in groups already. So therefore, it was not as per the results of the group stages initially. In Super Group 1, Super A Group 1, we have Zimbabwe, South Africa, West Indies, and India. What are your projections coming out of this group? Zimbabwe, South Africa, West Indies, India. Bearing in mind that 2 teams, I think, will be going to the semi-finals from the 2 Super 8s and then the finals. I think that is how it's going to be.
Based on the performance of the West Indies thus far, from what I've seen of them, I think they have the momentum, they have the rhythm with them to advance out of that group along with India. Of course, if the West Indies falters, if they fall off, that would leave room for South Africa to slip in there, because it's West Indies, South Africa, India, and
Zimbabwe,
right?
But Zimbabwe, their tails would be on their back. They just defeated Australia.
Right. So they would be high on confidence. So it is left to be seen how it plays out.
Group 2, Sri Lanka, England, New Zealand, and Pakistan, Y3. Pakistan, they are not in as yet, and they are not out as yet. They are in Group A. They run up in Group A. That has not been determined as yet. The USA, they have 4 points. It's very likely that it will be Pakistan, as I indicated earlier, because Pakistan, they have 1 more match to play. And the USA on 4 points. They have played their 4 matches, 2 wins, 2 victories. The Netherlands on 2 points. They can win and go 4. But then the net run rate will come in. But it's very likely it's going to be Pakistan going through. And but that group, I believe Group 1 is the group of death. I suspect England will go through, and you'll have to think that Sri Lanka is going to go through as well because they've been playing good cricket.
The group with Pakistan, please repeat it for me.
India,
India.
they've already qualified.
Yeah.
USA in second on 4 points, having played all the matches. Pakistan on 4 points with one more match to go. Netherlands on 2 points with one more match to go. So Netherlands can get to 4 points.
Right. My pick would be Pakistan.
Yeah, I think Pakistan for 23 reasons. And when you look at it in terms of Zimbabwe have Ireland to play. Forgive me, we're looking at Pakistan. Pakistan have Namibia to play. So that should be a given. India, the Netherlands. So I think Pakistan will get through. So it'll be India and Pakistan, New Zealand, England, and Sri Lanka in the second group. So who you think are the two coming out of this group?
We have England, Sri Lanka.
Okay.
Give me the other two.
New Zealand, Pakistan.
Pakistan. I thought we had Pakistan in another group.
No. This is the Super 8s.
Oh, Super 8, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pakistan, they have one more match in the group stage.
Yeah.
But chances are they're going to win it. It's
right.
Namibia.
So
they should really come out and join the group 2 of the Super 8s. But I share your view. England and Sri Lanka, they will go through. So the 4 we're expecting to see England and Sri Lanka, West Indies and New Zealand. Sorry, West Indies and India.
Right.
And who they will play gonna be interesting in terms of those 4, those 2 as well into the finals. And it's really gonna be an interesting. It's not really over as yet, eh?
It's not over until it's over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Quickly, Troy, I would like to comment on the development of the young Kunal Tilokani. From the time I saw this young man for the first time, I was very impressed with him. And just listening to his radio interview, I sense that this young man likes the game. He likes the game of cricket and he plays the game with great passion. And you can see that he has tremendous potential. He is a player of immense ability. And I forecast, I predict, and I prophesy that this youngster will play for the West Indies.
I agree with you. I expect him to.
I believe he played one game in the recently concluded on the 19th, and he scored 35 in, I think it was a losing cause.
Yes.
When Australia defeated the West Indies by 22 runs. They scored well over 300.
I think he really likes. He
loves the game.
He loves the
game.
Yes.
That seems to be his main focus. You can see that he wants his career path to be cricket. He has stated that.
The thing about it is,
in no uncertain terms.
The thing about it is, he has to step up on his game because you mentioned 35s. Somehow he seems to get out quite often in the 30s and 40s.
Right. So he would have to work on that.
Yes.
And of course, here is where I think that all our teams, or youth teams, senior teams, female teams, they need to have psychologists working with them. Do you recall when we had Rudy Webster working with the West Indies team? Yeah. I thought that made a huge difference.
An excellent idea.
Yeah. I think we need to get those psychologists to work with our cricketers and get them into the Brian Lara mold. You have to work to get my wicket. I am not giving it away easily.
Exactly.
I love greedy batsmen.
And nothing is wrong with that. Well, Baptiste, we are out of time and we have to call it quits. And it's been a wonderful session having you here. And it's not going to be the last time, I assure you. And I thank you very much for being here. Any final words? Any final words?
Is he talking to us? Yeah, right. I want to encourage the parents of St. Kitts and Nevis, and wherever we are being heard, to encourage their children to play sports. I love sports. I am not going to tell you I like sports. I love sports. So whether it's cricket, whether it's lawn tennis, whether it's table tennis, whether it's volleyball, basketball, football, netball, whatever the sport is, there is also a racket sport called squash that Grenadians play at the CSA Center, that's the Civil Service Association Center in Tantine. It's not too far from the Tantine Recreation Ground where I covered a game there with Pastor Stevenson Worm. I think it was the Leeward Islands versus the Windward Islands. And I worked with the former Grenada captain Kenny Hobson, who is now deceased. And Trevor Thwaites was also there. He played for Grenada. He was also a boxer. He's also deceased. And I believe the former Grenada national fast bowler, Nordica McIntyre, she and Trevor Thwaites, I believe they had at least one child together. So all those folks, were around back then. And it was really a joy covering cricket at home at that point. And I have enjoyed every bit of it. I have gotten into covering cricket via live streaming as well. When I covered the Leeward Islands under 19, the West Indies under 19, and the Cool and Smooth. So I want to encourage, the West Indies, CWI, the Leeward Islands Cricket Board, the Cool and Smooth people to keep the cricket going. And I believe that, if we play more cricket, and we can start from the under 13 level. I would like to see the under 13 cricket come back. What Vaughan and Springer did with under 13, that helped to produce a lot of good cricketers.
Exactly.
So let's have under 13, let's have under 15, under 17, under 19, and then you have that transition to the senior team, because from under 19 you go to under 21, and at that stage you can transition to the senior national team. So I think that if we put more into cricket, we have more schools cricket, primary schools cricket, high school cricket, you get the college involved, and spread the cricket, and develop the grounds and prepare good pitches and utilize the grounds. St. Kitts has more cricket grounds per capita than all the other islands in the OECS put together. I have never seen an island with so many cricket grounds, and St. Kitts being so flat. It's so...
You made it easier for us.
Yeah, people may be wondering why it took so long for St. Kitts to have a first test cricketer. But nonetheless, kudos to Mikael Louis, and I would like to see the Warner Park Stadium renamed Mikael Louis Cricket Stadium. So again, I encourage parents to let their children play sports and stay away from drugs, stay away from alcohol, stay away from all forms of immorality, and play sports. You cannot go wrong playing sports. I will be celebrating my 58th birthday.
58.
58. 5'8".
So all you be white?
So young.
And you look.
And my manager today said to me, "But Rodney, you celebrating 58 on the 26th of February, and you look so young."
So young, yeah.
I said, "What? I have played almost every sport there is on the earth. The only sport I haven't played would be American football and rugby."
You fear them?
Not that I'm afraid. Had the chance to play
them. I wouldn't play them.
Okay, all right, yeah, the high contact sports.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've had a swing at golf, but I believe I will, not too long from now.
There's a new sport being introduced in St. Kitts called pickleball. It's a sort of lawn tennis with a lower racket.
So it's sort of halfway between lawn tennis and table tennis?
Yes. The net is not that high, but similar. And it's interesting how the pickle name got its name, Pickle Young.
Right.
Pickleball. They used to play, and when they played, there was a dog next door, and the dog went and got the ball and brought it back. The dog's name was Pickle. So that is how Pickle came along. But Baptist,
yes.
It has been a pleasure having you here. I look forward to having you again in future.
Yeah, man, anytime.
And, we had a lovely
anytime.
discussion. And to everyone who was listening, we say thank you to you. We really appreciate it. And you can always give me a call, 765-1100. WhatsApp is on that number as well. Or you can call me 668-205. Give me some feedback. Critique the show, how we can improve, how we can better serve you. Because we're really here to serve you, bring the information to you. And to the families who were deceased, who are deceased members, we say condolences again. Happy birthday to you if you're celebrating. Happy anniversary. Congratulations. Belated or happy birthday in advance. Same thing with the anniversary. Again, I liked what Baptiste says. Stay away from drugs. Stay away from drugs. Stay away from alcohol. Even this marijuana. Marijuana has been decriminalized in St. Kitts. However, it is a banned substance when it comes to the World Anti-Doping Agency.
And I can attest to that.
Mm-hmm.
I can attest to that.
So,
stay away from cocaine. Stay away from crack.
Exactly.
Stay away from all forms of ungodliness, all forms of immorality, and live good, clean lives.
I expect there will be a discussion sometime about a Minister of Agriculture being a Minister of Sports. Because, especially here in St. Kitts Nevis, we are pushing for the cannabis, the growth of the cannabis industry. So that is something somebody will have to look at. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're back next week, Tuesday, God's Spear, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And I encourage you to join us on YouTube, Facebook, be live with us. And I must thank Baptiste, I must thank my producer, Raspy of Tough House Sounds, for allowing us to go a few minutes over time. And we really appreciate it. As I slip away, and indeed, it has been a wonderful program. And I must remind you that we're going to be signing out immediately after this program, and we're going to resume broadcasting at 12 o'clock at midnight, 12 a.m. as it is. So if you continue listening, you will not hear anything after this program has ended, and tune in for midnight, where we will resume programming, and we do apologize for that, but it is necessary. And never, let me say another way, always, when you're drinking, don't drive, and when you're driving, don't drink. If you feel the urge to drink, get a designated driver who is not drinking, because you have to arrive alive.
Because you have to drive to arrive alive. I love that.
And I must compliment
a tremendous songbite.
I must commend you for that. It came from you, and we've been using it. And I love to give credit to where the credit is due. And please be patient, or else you may become a patient. That came from my Uncle Neville Weeks as well. Please be patient, or else you may become a patient. And as I slip away, always be positive in your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions. Thank you for listening. Have a good night. See you Tuesday, God's Spear.
Have a blessed one, everybody.